Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 360 NoScope podcast. This is episode 10. This is a bit melancholic because it is the funeral episode. We're going to go through the year that was, maybe our matchups, see what we thought of some players that ended us at the position we got us to, as well as some shout outs. And yeah, we will wrap up this series for now before headed into we've already started the Super Coach series. So please, if you like AFL, go and watch the Access Some Places podcast. Episode 1 went up yesterday. And yeah, so Cole, sorry to do this to you one more time. I know everyone's been saying how sad you are every episode, but take it away for us.
Thanks, Josh. You're listening to the 360 NoScope podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Alrighty, year that was. Big Nick is sick, but I'm happy with my boys. We are looking into heading into getting 5th place at the end of it all. We're currently 5-3 against Walden. We're not going to go through the matchup this week because I'm actually not allowed to attend my waivers because I'm not in the money. So there's a bit of top 4 bias there that apparently people who are still playing matches can't actually play the game. They've got to play the game with their hands tied behind their back. But that's okay because we beat Mark last week with our hands tied behind our back. Granted, his hands were also behind his back. We beat him 5-4, which got us into the consolation final against none other than Walden here. And as you can see in the little thing, we are 5-3 at the moment. I didn't actually set active players today, so I missed out on Westbrook's score. But that just kind of shows that we're actually not too bad at this whole super coach thing, whole fantasy thing. Overall thoughts from the thing, I think it was been monumental for us this sort of this season because we've come last in the last 2 weeks, as everyone is aware, or last 2 years, if everyone's still aware. Sorry, I have just woken up from a nap. Granted, it's 9 o'clock at night. I have woken up from a nap. I've had a long day, boys. It's all right. A lot of grief making this episode. But last 2 years before this one, we were dead last. We were dead last from very early, and we just couldn't climb back. Didn't have no idea what we were doing. Still playing for League Pass, but couldn't actually, string a team together. This time now, we have ended up, potentially 5th, if not 6th, which is awesome. We got to the offs, and that's just a huge exponential growth that, we're all happy about, and everyone's real proud of me. But yeah, so pretty happy with that. I'm glad we kind of were able to build the team I had, the record we had, 84 to 86 and 1 draw. We might be able to end out positive. That would be also really cool. Because we started at quite a deficit by about week 4, and we were getting told by Ben that we were, out already, to count us out already. So I'm not sure if there should be some consolation prize for the final, maybe money back. I think that should be a really good idea. But, that's up to the commissioner. So we can sort of see that. But before we go into our boys, I just want to take a trip down memory lane, and we'll have a look at the matchups from each year. We won't go too long because I don't want this episode to go for too many hours. But let's go back to week 1 and I have a feeling against these. So we started off the season against Alex, another freshie to the league. And he won me 2-7 or 7-2. Kind of just all stations. The field goal was all there. So that started off a bit grim. But he ended up 12th, which is a lot more grim than ending up 6th. So he took my bullet this year. Someone's got to come last, and this year, Alex, it was you. But I think you had some okay matches throughout the season, but you kind of fell into some stiff irrelevancy quite quickly and never recovered. But stick to it. Maybe next year, mate. Keep up the good work. If you need any tips, let me know, and maybe rewatch the 360 NoScope podcast cover to cover to get some tips on what to do each week. So we've got 1 loss. Second week, we were up against James, Sugs and Kisses, NPC. He also walked me 7-2. I did win turnovers that week, and I got dimes. So I had a bit of an assist team going in this way. You know, it actually kind of says here, you know, we had Caruso running around, we had Williams running around. We actually had Vando at this point, which really hurts me. And this battle has been the Luca days. So we had Luca, and here's Josh Hart, who we got robbed from. And we had Shy. So this is a lot of our thing. Maybe we didn't. I think we had Shy about this time. This adds all of our team's players we had overall. So that's fine. Some of them we didn't have back then. But 7-2, big grim. James, you know, in my head, James, you look like this sort of tall, kind of scruffy-haired, black-haired guy who, you know, can hoop, but you know, loves his fantasy. Kind of like those, you know, like the high school older brothers, and like not quite Diary Hooper Kid because he was more of a metalhead, but you know, that sort of video genre. That's how you look like in my brain. That's how you always have a whole thing. I don't think you do look like that, but that's how you've been in my head, just in case you're wondering. You ended up 11th, James. Again, you know, you're an NPC. You were down there for all the time. I think there was a bit of a worry that you were going to be up the top and stay at the top because we were a bit worried with all of that, except, you know, you made one trade all year, one waiver, like 3 waiver moves all year. So this whole point of, you know, set and forget, not going to work as much as you think it would in this league. So 7-2 there, so now we're 0-2. Week 3, we also lost 6-3. We lost to Oceans 15 to Tom. He was currently, I think, in the grand final to win all the money. I actually understand Tom's nickname a lot better now because I watched all of the Ocean, well, not all of the Ocean movies. I watched all of the Ocean movies with male head characters, the Clooney ones. On the weekend, that's why the episode didn't come out as early as it did. Excellent movies. Highly recommend if you haven't seen them yet. I think I was one of the few people in the world that haven't seen them yet, at least at my age. So, yeah, great movies. Now I understand the name because it's Ocean's 15 because there's 15 dudes. It's quite clever. And you've actually put the little pictures of all your players on your little DP there. So 6-3 there. This matchup again was when things started to look a bit grim because I had lost 3 in a row. Getting some games back was good, but I was really like, it's going to be one of these seasons again where I don't really, you know, have any competition or chance to win. But we won 3s, and the free throws were sort of there, so that was all right. So we were shooting at 79% from the line early on. Almost 1 point, actually. You know, so this could have gone better. Steals, we lost by 1. So we could, you know, we win this one and this one. Then we got up to 5-4, and we win that one. So we're actually a lot closer than we thought that week. Week 4. Against Cole, Keep Walton's Winslow. We lost that one as well. So at this point, we're in week 4 and we are 0-4. Field goals are 45%. We won the boards, only just lost the points, and he hit 93s that week. So we weren't going to chase that. We had 56 steals. So I really enjoyed the steal category. I kind of, you know, slipped off on it a bit back in the day. But yeah, you know, we were 4-5, and I think we were at like a -14 game deficit. And Ben was like, "How the fuck are you -14? It's week 4. You really suck at this." But that's all right. I think we had some standouts from Edwards and Hero as we usually do. But we'll get to the dudes players next time. Week 5, we are now 0-4 going into week 5, and we beat Marcello. Marcello, another honest man, one of I'd say the 4 honest men in this league, me included. 5-4, got the first win, finally in week 5. Still copped the 4 games on the minus on the back end, so that's all right. But as you can see, still winning steals. Dimes were huge. We had 196, and we were shooting 80% for free throw. So Marcello, you know, came 10th, didn't come last. Not bad that. I didn't hear much of a peep from you all season. And, you know, you tried to sort of, when you were on a little bit of an incline, we saw a bit more of you, and then we went back down again. We didn't see any of you. So looking forward to more traction from you, Mike Bella, next year. But look, as you said, one of the honest men. So handshakes to you. So we have our first win on the board, 1-5. Into week 6. We lose to Jacob, another honest man in the club. We were very much running the same builds. And by that, I mean we kept throwing away the same waiver players at each other. I lose 3-6 this one. Still winning assists. Threes were all right. We lost with a 75% free throw, which is a bit grim, but the field goal percent of 47.6 came through. Yeah, again, week 6, bit of a blur this middle 6 periods, this 6 weeks, but 42 games each, and we lost this one. And again, things were looking a bit grim, and we were sort of slipping back down to that bottom. I think we were like second last at this point. I don't know. We were at least definitely in the bottom 4. And Jacob ended up 5th overall from what it seems here, so I don't know how it works, but that's that. He had some big Freddie games, but didn't really score huge. He just had a very well-rounded team. Whereas I was relying on, again, Hero and Dre was dropping numbers, and Edwards was at his peak. And this is when I think I had Monty before you had Monty. Week 6, so now we are. I should be writing this down, but now we are 1-6, I think, and we go into week 7, and we beat Mark 6-2. This was when things started to get a little bit better for about 2 weeks. Mark, we've had a bit of a rivalry all season. I was talking some shit on the messenger boards. You were actually replying to me. You replied to some of my trade requests. I was talking shit about you on the podcast. You didn't submit any Q&As on the podcast. I held that against you. We had a good time. We had fun. And you've come up with a 6-2 here, which was great because that kind of made my ego feel a lot better. I had an extra 2 games. Free throws at 78.1%, and then we just kind of, again, 1 steals. Assists, again, we were hitting about 200 assists a week at this point. We had a really good, solid team here, but we were, I think, lacking in some of the point departments. So I think that's where we pivoted a bit in the coming weeks to kind of have a different way of doing things. But the win is great, so that puts us at 2-5. Going into week 8, which I think is about the halfway point, and we beat Chaya, who, he can be in a gold league all he wants. He can't beat me in fantasy. This 6-3 was very pivotal for me, as you saw in the Yoss episode. We beat Chaya twice this season, and it was really good to sort of have that dub against him. Right off a marker win too, so I jumped up to think about 6 because I sort of had 2 back-to-back big wins. 194 assists. My assists are just very consistent, very, very goated. And we had 659 points, huge, and almost 100 threes across the week. And the field goal percent, again, we're winning. So we actually had some field goals as well doing that. We only won turnovers by 3. And by the looks of it, that was the only place he was going to chase me. So he wasn't going to beat me anyway. But 6-3 Char, again. Jay, you have been a very entertaining part of this online series, both our series and the whole fantasy leagues, because you're revolving doors, as the picture says. You had a stupid amount of trades and waivers, not even waiver pickups, just trades. Everyone had big waivers, but you had a lot of trades. I would not trade with you all season because you just kept giving me shit. You kept giving me a nice box of roses and saying, "Look, I'm here to make peace. I'm not trying to fleece you." And then you open up the box of roses, and all the flowers are made of shit. And that's what your trade table was to me. We weren't sitting at a table. We were sitting on a fucking cliffside, and you said, "Oh no, don't worry. I'll take the shitty chair on the safe side of the cliff. You sit on the really nice chair that's also hanging off the cliff." Because if I took any of your trades, I took one trade, which was a Westbrook Lonzo, and we were pissed. And that ended up in my favour. So I do thank you for that. Granted, I had to deal with Westbrook for a couple of weeks and Westbrook for the other couple of weeks. But I ended up in Cole's hands because nothing I trade you can ever do well. And in saying that, the only other trade I took, which was you giving me Jokic, which I don't think that was about this time. But if it was, then, fucking thanks. Because you got me to where I was. And obviously you gave me a whole lot of content throughout the series. So that was awesome. 6-3 to win. I don't know where we're at now. 3-5. And we go into week 9. And we versed Daniel. I got a Harden. We won 5-4. Another pivotal part of my league. Giving me Lowry for Spencer. I don't think I'll ever forget that. I'd get that trade tattooed on my body if I could, because that's just such an incredible trade. Look, you're one of the honest men in the group, so handshakes to you as well. And yeah, you just you didn't do yourself a lot of favors this year. Ended up 8th, so you still made the opt with me, but my assist is still they're starting to slip a little bit. So this is the thing I think when I got about the Jokic area, and I kind of pivoted a bit to just winning, full stop. 82% this week was pretty huge on you did. But the blocks, we had heaps of blocks. We fell down on blocks a lot later. But yeah, Daniel 5-4 kind of kept that trend going. We didn't now won 3 in a row, so we were right in there again. But yes, that shout outs to your trades. You just trade by the heart. You're an honest trader, and that's just as far as we can go. So yeah, big fan of the pod. I know you are, so I appreciate that. And yeah, that 5-4 really helped us to continue. So now we are 4-5 or something like that. So we're almost coming up to a positive, to even. Then we beat Connor 5-4. Connor has been called the one of the king sharks of the group, one of the top 4 master racers in this league. That I don't think he actually watches the pod anymore, but that's okay if he ever did watch it. But that's one spicy people. We win assists again. I'm actually surprised I won this one. I'm not sure how I won this one. I'm not sure if he was really at his strength at this point or he still had some more trades to do before he got to where he was. But I did have 6 extra games on him, so that might have done a bit of a favour. But if you look at the matchups here, I was well ahead on blocks, well ahead on steals. Assists could have gone either way with another 6 games. Boards were mine. I actually lost points and lost 3. So as you can see, the 3s dropped down a lot. And the free throw percentage, I think he could have tanked that to prevent me from losing further. But 5-4, now we're 5-5. We're coming into week 11, 5-5. You got to understand how close this was. We were sitting at, maybe 5th or 6th. We had a really stiff year. And then we played King Anthony. Now, Ben obviously wanted me to succeed. He watches the pod with his morning oats, or his morning Cheerios, whatever he decides to have for breakfast. He's a hard-working man, loves his basketball. So me doing some moves here and there, or me understanding how the game works, really sort of tickled his fancy because he didn't really get what's going on in my head. And it's just as bad with the AFL episodes. But we actually lost assists this week. And yeah, one of the top 4 hierarchy too. So losing this one wasn't too bad. Any highlights from this one? We won boards. Yeah, we just kind of got done in. And that's when things start to slip again for the Big Dick Nick is sick squad. 2-7 there. So now we are at 5-6 into week 12. And then we beat Alex, which was good because we flipped to 7-2, neutralizing our matchup from a ladder perspective. Winning assists again, going back up to that 180, almost 200. 603 points this week. That might have been my highest points all season. Blocks and steals pretty high as well. We had a really good week this week, and Alex did not. So we were able to get that win too. So now this is when we start playing people again. So now we are neutral against Alex and 6-6 coming into the next week, which we beat James 6-3 again. So I think we 2-0'd James across the season, which was great. And 150 assists, an 89% free throw. So we do see these sort of numbers again later on in the season when it matters. But that was kind of ridiculous free throw day for me. So now we are 7-6 coming into the last couple of weeks. Lose to Tom 4-5. We only got 109 assists here. Again, 83% free throw, which is awesome. And he lost with 81%. I think he actually made a comment about that. So we lost to Tom again. 7-6. I don't know where we're at now, but we'll just run through the end of it. We all get what we're going here. I beat Cole. That was cool. 87% free throws. Field goals is 48%. And almost 600 points again. 161 assists. So that's awesome. Week 15. Week 16. 5-4, beat Marshall. This is when we went on our second run after falling back down to the bottom again. Again, this free throw stays really consistent for a really long time. And assists winning again, and we got to 50 steals, which I think is a pretty high amount of steals for our league. Week 17, lose to Jacob again. So Jacob 2-0'd us this season. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever, we got 117 assists, so not that good. Week 18, we lose to Mark. Is this the? I think this is the fortnight. So this was a big week, big episode. But we managed to climb back to the 4-5. We were so close to winning this one. We were one. This is the one where we were one block away, and we were, we were literally 1-3 away from winning this and actually getting ourselves a better seed, and I thought it was all over from this week. But we go into week 19 where we beat Chaya again, pretty much knocking him out of the offs. It was really sweaty until the last day, and I actually had less games than him, so there's not really an excuse on why he lost this. I had 746 points, and I still lost the points, so we were going at it. It was brutal week. I win assists as usual, and the blocks were not in our favor, but we got 42 steals. And then we have week 20. We lose to Tom to get knocked out of the offs. Shooting at 77% is just not. We won free throws, which was good, so that means we didn't lose free throws against Tom all season. But we just couldn't keep up. We actually, unfortunately, I think we lost Bingham when we needed them that week. We lost 3 games, and those 3 games were Bingham's, which were kind of huge if you think about it. I don't think. I mean, he could definitely score 20 points here. Get us that category, 4-5, and then he probably wouldn't have got 6 steals. But if he did across 3 games, then he would have won that one too, and then we would have won. So we would have continued in the offs. But that's okay. It's not all Bingham's fault. But we lose that one, and then we go into the first round of consolation where I'm not with my teams, where we did beat Mark again. So I think we were 2-1 on Mark. Assists 162 there, and steals, blocks, turnovers, all the good stats. Which then puts us to this week, where again I forgot to set active players today. I can't even click the goddamn thing. We are now winning 5-3. So that was we're just going to see how we go. I've still got plenty of games left, and so there's Walden. We're at the 21-minute mark now, which is a long episode, but this is the funeral episode, so please hold on. I just want to go through the boys and give them a bit of a send-off. We'll make this a bit quicker than... can I just do this? I can. And this has everyone? No, it just has the 2021 seasons. That's all right. Anyway, second half of the episode. If you're still with us, thank you. It is a long episode, but, this is the closing episode, so... They always make the last movie the longest. Sometimes they make it in 2 parts. That's not going to happen here. We don't have the budget. Derek White, no medal for you, mate. You're on my bench. You were trade piece. I wasn't really a fan of you. You were whatever. Monty Morris, you king. You absolute king. The Riddler, the big man himself. Monty Morris, I was a big fan of him. He's definitely gone up as one of my favorite players in the NBA, just because he's an absolute jet. Jalen Green, thank you, Jalen Green, for the thing that you've done. You had some really big games. I picked you up when things were going really bad for you, but I took you under my wing and you pulled some great numbers near the end of the week. Scotty Barnes as well. I managed to get my little rookies that I wanted. I wanted little rookies, but no one would give me any until they were shit. And then I scooped them up and they got good again. So that was really awesome. Scotland Barnes, Barnesy, the real Barnesy, here at the podcast, did a great job. Awesome to have him. He was dropping 30 bombs the last couple of weeks, which was awesome. Demarcus Cousins, I streamed you in the last day and I fucked it. You're not on the podium here. And, picked 28. Everyone laughed me out of the rooms. I still made the offs. You pulled off some absolute beauties for me. You scored 1,328 points this season. 296 boards and 232 assists and 96 steals. The only guy that scored more points than you on my team is Jokic. So that kind of says something about whether it's my drafting on my team or that you're actually a king and everyone has not respected you enough. Take the Wolves into the offs. I believe in you, and I'll be like your offs, and I'll be watching you through the play-ins. I'll actually watch those games with a bit of gusto because I am now a Wolves man, and Anthony Edwards is to thank for that. Jokic, big dog, the Joker. Nothing else can be said about him. 1,696 points, 885 rebounds, 520 assists, 89 steals, 54 blocks, and only 242 turnovers. Shooting at an 80% free throw season long with 310 of them, and a 57% field goal with 646 scored shots. He's just a king. I don't know why this number's not 100% started. It's 93. I don't get it. But absolute going for the MVP. Really hoping that you can get MVP with Mobley getting Rookie of the Year for undisclosed reasons. But both of you doing that would be awesome. But, Round of applause for the Joker. He literally was the reason I got anywhere in this series. KJ Martin, I actually have a bit of a soft spot for KJ Martin. He kind of, streamed him when I needed him, and he really put in what he needed to do. Devontae Graham, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I took a real gamble with you in 1 week, and actually think it won me the week. So, you're my shooter out there. You're pal, so I'm not a fan of you, but that's all right. Dre Green, I just don't know what to say. I'm so conflicted with you, man. You were fucking killing it for the first half of the year, and then you were injured, and then you were injured for 6 weeks, and then you were about to come back, and then you were injured for another 4 weeks, and for the entire second half of the year, granted we were winning, you were on my injury list, and I needed you, man. I needed Draymond Green to at least come back the week before he did and really help me. He was just diming everybody up. That's all he was doing, He was so good. And he was part of that. That's why my assist dropped down is when he got injured. It's just, oh, I, I held him all season. I wasn't going to drop him. I wasn't going to trade him for anything. But Dre, shout out to you. Probably the only honest bloke on Golden State Warriors, I'd say. Brandon Clark, part of that duo. I took you under my wing. No one else believed in you. You and Bane had some good times. Only one of you survived the process, but I didn't mind Clark. I think he had some good moments, and he will sort of blossom in the coming years, I think. Westbrook, Russell me Jimmys. Real roller coaster. You were Westbrook. I'm glad to have you. It was fun. Everyone tried to pick you off me when I was a corpse because you just having some shocking games, mate. But we stuck by you. You paid off. You paid me for those good games. With those good games, sorry. And yeah, I was happy to have Westbrook. I got Westbrook for Lonzo. I think Lonzo would have been better overall, but the fact that Lonzo got injured and Westbrook didn't, sometimes it felt like Westbrook was injured. It would have been better if he was injured. But yeah, look, I'm happy to have Westbrook. I think it's fine. Lonzo would have been cool too. Tyler Hero, the poster boy the last 2 years. Yeah, look, he fucking killed it. He scored 1,235 points, 282 boards, 227 assists, 39 steals, and 8 blocks. He just shooting at 87% free throws and 44% field goals. He just kept booming. He was really far. He was going like this for a lot of the season, and then he kind of went flat, and everyone thought he was going back down again. Then he was injured for a bit, and then he went back up there, and everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck? Why is Tyler Hero scoring 30 a week, at fucking 80%? It's because he's a good player. He's a king. 6th man of the year, right there. Give it to him. And then Brandon Ingram ended up on my injury list at the end. Big Graham, I almost took Walton's name, Big Graham Bong, because I thought it was probably one of the best names all season. But, yeah, I don't know. You let me down, buddy. You let me down in the last week, and I think we could have been in the money if you would at least fucking played the game in the last week when I actually needed you to play. Any other time, I didn't. But come on, man. You let me down. You really let me down. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I don't know what this button does. Oh, nothing. But yeah, that's it. That's all of us. We have the longest episode to date, which makes sense. It's going to be a fucking half an hour episode. Oh, no one's going to watch this. Please watch this episode. I'm going to have to preface everybody that this is a fucking half an hour episode. But, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for, tuning in. There was one episode we got like 30 views. But it has been fun to care about my fantasy as much as I have and make videos are all fun. I'm doing the whole closing thing. Like, I haven't got a whole another series to do for 20 weeks, but tune in to Supercoach 1, tell your friends about Supercoach 1. And, it's actually getting some views because there's more people care about AFL in Australia and Supercoach in Australia than they do Yahoo Fantasy. But I will see you all next season when I might just bring it back up again. But for now, we're going to pray our goodbyes. Thanks everyone for watching, and thank you, Cole, for being my sound guy.